When evolution plans a working design for an animal, it follows that plan to the T. However, every 1,000 years or so, it feels a bit more creative and gives us an animal so truly unique that we can truly consider them to be once in a millennium. From what allegedly was the offspring of a crocodile and a buffalo, please don't ask me how that worked, to a cyclopean cat, here are the top 10 animals born only once every 1,000 years. Number 10. Crocodile-buffalo hybrid. In the remote village of Hai Rock in Wang Hin was born a buffalo calf like no other. It had a flat head and extremely scaly skin. It was given birth by a mother that had a previous history of giving birth to normal calves. That's why villagers were baffled with this calf's unique appearance. It died a few minutes after birth. The villagers believed that a crocodile had somehow mated with the buffalo, hence producing the weird offspring. Experts, however, believe that the calf contracted some kind of disease while in the womb. Whatever the case may actually be, the so-called crocodile-buffalo hybrid is truly a once-in-a-thousand-year animal. Number 9. The hexapus. Octopuses have 8 arms, or tentacles if you want to be technical about it. That's why they're called octopuses. However, once in a while, perhaps even every 1,000 years, an octopus is born that stands out from the rest. In the case of Henry, he was born with only 6 tentacles, making him the only hexapus in the world. Henry the hexapus lives at the Blackpool Sea Life Aquarium, but was originally caught, along with 7 other 8-legged members of his kind, just off the coast of Wales. His bizarre mutation was only noticed when he decided to attach himself to the glass of his tank. At first, the aquarium personnel thought a couple of his tentacles were cut off, but would regrow soon enough, as all octopuses have this ability. But they soon noticed that Henry did not have any space in between his tentacles to allow more to regrow. Being the only hexapus to have ever been discovered truly makes Henry a once-in-a-thousand-year animal. Number 8. The two-legged dog. Faith the two-legged dog has lived a hard life. First, she was born with 2 good hind legs and 2 bad front legs, owing to a brain defect that hindered the development of her limbs. And because of her defects, her mother, a homeless dog, rejected her, even trying to kill her. Fortunately though, she was found by 17-year-old Reuben Stringfellow, who gave her to his mother. Soon after this, her 2 front legs began to weaken and had to be amputated. Left with only her 2 hind legs, Faith defied the impossible and was soon able to stand, walk, hop, and even run. Nowadays, Faith walks on her hind legs just like a human being. She's met with several celebrities and has even appeared on The Oprah Show. She's even visited several military bases and hospitals where she serves as a form of encouragement for injured soldiers and veterans. Heck, she's even been made an honorary sergeant in the U.S. Army and was considered for a role in the 4th Harry Potter movie, The Goblet of Fire. I honestly wonder what she would have been. Number 7. The One-Eyed Cat. Born with only a single eye, Clea the Cyclops stunned his owners when he was born, and inspired them to share his amazing story on the interwebs. The Bengal kitten was delivered in the veterinarian's operating room last week after his mother began to experience difficulties giving birth. The second of the litter, Clay had floored everyone in the room as they realized that he had been born with a rare deformity that left him with only one eye. Not only that, the kitten was also born sans a nose, making breathing impossible. So tragically, the tiny kitten died very soon after coming into the world. Clay had more than likely suffered from cyclopia, a rare birth defect that occurs when the front part of the brain doesn't cleave into right and left hemispheres. The most obvious symptom of cyclopia is a single eye or a partially divided eye. A baby with cyclopia usually has no nose, but instead has a nose-like growth called a proboscis, which sometimes develops above the eye while the baby is in gestation. Cyclopia often results in miscarriage and stillbirth, which is why it's amazing that Clea came out of the womb still alive and kicking. Number 6. A cat with wings. Yes, apparently a cat actually can grow wings, and this is not a one-off mutation. Apparently, other cats with wings have been documented in China for hundreds of years, dating back to the 1800s. This long-haired cat appears to be a mixed breed domestic, and according to those familiar with it, he was born normal, but then started to grow wing-like appendages on its back at the age of 1. Some cases of winged cats can be easily explained by matted fur or super elastic skin, but this cat in question seems to fit none of those explanations. Scientists are dumbfounded by this genetic mutation, as it appears that the wing-like appendages have more structure than merely matted fur or even stretched skin. However, one thing is certainly for sure, rodents and birds had better beware if this furry feline ever learns to fly. Number 5. The Three-Headed Frog. Mutations in frogs aren't really uncommon, hence we can't really call them once-in-a-thousand-year animals. However, there actually is one who was born with a mutation that was so weird it would probably take another couple of thousand years for one to simply pop up. This rare three-headed frog was found in the Garden of Green Umbrella Nursery in the UK in 2004. It was discovered by a student who had just been dropped at the nursery. All the students initially thought it was three frogs cuddling with each other, but were surprised when it turned out to be one singular frog. And because they were preschoolers, they named the weird frog Froggy. He was captured and put in a tank, but was able to escape the following day. Froggy's eyes and legs seemed to function normally, but it is unknown whether his three mouths were fully functional. A professor of biology at the Open University said that although mutant frogs have been reported for about 200 years, one with 3 heads and 6 legs is completely unheard of. Number 4. The White Tiger. Kenny the White Tiger is truly a unique animal. He's mentally disabled and was born with a deformed face that prevented him from fully closing his mouth. And of course, his fur is white, a color that is highly sought after by collectors. The thing is though, white tigers don't exist naturally out in the wild. The only way to produce them is by breeding closely related tigers through generations until the right mutation occurs. Unfortunately, the right mutation is extremely rare, making perfect white tigers a once-in-a-thousand-year animal. Most are born with health problems and physical deformities, and the gene that causes their coats to become white also causes the optic nerve to become connected to the wrong side of the brain, making all white tigers cross-eyed. They also suffer from cleft palates, club feet, immune deficiency, and deformities in their spines and organs, so honestly, it's probably not a good idea to do that. Number 3. The monkey pig. We all know that mutations may result into extra limbs and appendages, or even the lack thereof. However, what of the genetic makeup? Can mutations change that and make it turn into a totally different animal altogether? Or maybe a freak hybrid? Well, when this piglet was born in the San Juan and Martinez area of Cuba's Pinar del Rio province, it caused quite an uproar, because quite unlike its pink brothers and sisters, it was born with brown fur and a face that resembles a monkey rather than a pig. This led many people to believe that the piglet was some sort of pig-monkey hybrid. But of course we know that's a complete impossibility. Or is it? Well, either way, the piglet's farmer called the veterinarian as soon as he saw his sow give birth to the bizarre animal. Since then, the monkey pig has become a bit of a celebrity with villagers in the predominantly agricultural area of Cuba known as the Mecca of tobacco. Its unusual appearance is believed to have been caused by a genetic mutation, with the vet taking blood samples to investigate how the abnormal piglet developed. Unfortunately though, the media hasn't really followed up with the story, so we actually don't know what caused the mutation, nor even whether the pig survived or not. Now it's time for today's best pick. Today's pick is one disturbing photo of some sort of animal with a human face. I can tell you now that this photo is more than likely fake and the animal doesn't exist. However, believe you me, animal with human faces, although rare, have been born. Get ready to meet one next with our last entry, the human-faced goat. Goats are a dime a dozen. These animals are bred for their meat, their milk, and also just to be nice little bit of goats. And they're actually pretty handy at keeping grass and weeds in check. So of course they're actually pretty useful as farm animals. But every few generations or so, one is born extremely unique, and instead of ending up on the butcher's table, they're sometimes worshipped as gods. That's exactly what happened to this goat from Rajasthan, India, who was born with what seems to be like the face of a grumpy old man. Owner Mukesh Prajapati first unveiled his flat-faced goat on film, showing it wagging its tail and it stumbling around. At first, the weird animal baffled the villagers because of its freakish looks, until they decided to worship the animal as an avatar of god. I feel like we skipped a step there. Animal mutations are fairly common in India, and most view them as a sign from God. These animals, however, rarely live for a few days after birth. However, this old man Billy Goat defied all expectations and survived. Right now, it's probably living a good, pampered life, being worshipped as a god in his own right and given all the nice tin cans. Would you like to own any of these extremely rare animals? Let us know down below in the comments. Also, make sure to check out the channel's other amazing videos. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.